What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. NBA. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Toronto Raptors, Game 4. This is part of the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Cavs lead the series at 2-1, and they have a 43.9% chance to win. The Raptors have a 56.1% chance to win. This game is at Toronto. For injuries for the Raptors, uh, Lawson's game time decision. Quickly and Hepburn are out. For stats, the Cavs have more points per game. Field goal percentage is even. Cavs have more rebounds per game. Raptors have more assists per game. Cavs have more blocks per game, and Raptors have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Raptors will beat the Cavaliers tomorrow to tie the series. San Antonio Spurs versus Portland Trailblazers, Game 4. This is part of the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Spurs lead the series at 2-1. Um, they have a 67.5% chance to win. The Blazers have a 32.5% chance to win. This game is at Portland. For injuries, for the Spurs, Wembanyama and McLaughlin are game time decisions, and Jones Garcia's out. For the Blazers, Lillard's out. For stats, the Spurs are more points per game, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game. Blocks per game is even, and Blazers have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Trailblazers will beat the Spurs tomorrow to tie the series. Boston Celtics versus Philadelphia 76ers, Game 4. This is part of the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Celtics lead the series at 2-1, and they have a 62.6% chance to win, and the Sixers have a 37.4% chance to win. This game is at Philadelphia. For injuries, for the Sixers, Embiid and Oubre Jr. are game time decisions. For stats, the Sixers have more points per game, Celtics have a higher field goal percentage and have more rebounds per game. Assists per game is even. Sixers have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the 76ers will beat the Celtics tomorrow to tie the series. Los Angeles Lakers versus Houston Rockets, Game 4. So this is part of the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Lakers lead the series at 3-0, so if they win, they'll move on to the next round. If the Rockets win, they'll survive at least one more day. The Lakers have a 34.6% chance to win, and the Rockets have a 65.4% chance to win. This game is at Houston. For injuries, for the Lakers, Reeves is the game time decision, and Doncic is out. For the Rockets, Durant's a game time decision, and Adams and Van Vliet are out. For stats, the Lakers have more points per game, higher field goal percentage. Rockets have more rebounds per game. Lakers have more assists per game. Rockets have more blocks per game, and steals per game is even. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Rockets will beat the Lakers tomorrow to put the series at 3-1. College baseball. Texas A&M Aggies versus Florida Gators. This is Game 3 of the series. The series is tied 1-1, so whoever wins tomorrow wins the series. So A&M is 7 nation, 32-8 record. Florida is 21 nation, 29-15 record. This is at Florida. This could be a good bang, game with generally the worst weekend pitcher being Game 3. So now, I think with this being at Florida, I think Florida will beat Texas A&M tomorrow to win the series. Georgia Bulldogs versus Ole Miss Rebels. So this is Game 3 of the series. So Ole Miss won game one. Now game two is currently going on right now. Georgia's winning 8-7. Top of the 14th, one out, runners on second and third. So yeah, so basically it's a like it's definitely a long game. So if Georgia goes on to win, like hangs on to win, they will like they'll tie the series. But if Ole Miss wins, they'll clinch the series. And yeah, so I think so for the game, basically so Georgia like is 5 in nation, 32-11 record. Ole Miss is 17 nation, 31-12 record. This is at Ole Miss. Yeah, so the two teams are going to be freaking tired. Like they are going to be tired. Like with the doubleheader, I mean, game one, I mean it was like basically it only went 9 innings, but the game two is in like the 14th inning. Like they're going to be freaking tired. So that could play a role tomorrow. And of course, the crowd's gonna be really good for Ole Miss. So I think home field advantage would be a big thing there. So I think Ole Miss will beat Georgia. Oklahoma Sooners versus Auburn Tigers. This is game three of the series. So the series is tied 1-1. So whoever wins will win the series. So Oklahoma is 14 nation, 29-13 record. Auburn is 11 nation, 29-13 record. This is at Auburn. So this could be a really good game. Um, with it being at Auburn, I think Auburn will beat Oklahoma to win the series. MLB. Detroit Tigers versus Cincinnati Reds. The Tigers have a 42.6% chance to win. The Reds have a 57.4% chance to win. This game is at Cincinnati. For starting pitchers for the Tigers, Tyler Montero has a career ERA of 4.48, WHIP of 1.31, and for the Reds, Rhett Lauder has a career ERA of 2.11, WHIP of 1.21. So that's really good pitching for Lowler, not really good pitching for Montero. So I think it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Reds. Now for injuries, for the Tigers, Scott Efros, Tower Owens, Troy Watson, Duggan Darnell are on 7-day IL, and Zach McKinstry's on 10-day IL. For the Reds, Nick Lodolo's on the 15-day IL, Alex Young's out, Jose Trevino and Eugenio Suarez are on 10-day IL, and Josh DeMount's on 7-day IL. For stats, the Tigers have a higher batting average, more runs, hits. Uh, Reds have more home runs. Tigers have a higher on base percentage, of slugging percentage, ERA. Reds have more walks plus hits per inning pitched. They have more walks. Uh, Tigers have more strikeouts, and a higher opposing batting average, like opponent batting average. So yeah, so these stats, you have some big differences, when it comes to like, some of the big ones, like, obviously 16 more runs for the Tigers than the Reds, 42 more hits, and you have, the basically Reds having like, 21 more walks, Tigers having like, 19 more strikeouts. So it's definitely a interesting, you know, matchup. So it could be interesting. So home field advantage will help, but I think the big thing is going to be home field advantage and starting pitching advantage. So I think the Reds will beat the Tigers tomorrow. Pittsburgh Pirates versus Milwaukee Brewers. The Pirates have a 44.2% chance to win. The Brewers have a 55.8% chance to win. This game is at Milwaukee. For starting pitchers, for the Pirates, Carmen Lodzinski has a career ERA at 3.25, WHIP of 1.28. And for the Brewers, Kyle Harrison has a career ERA of 4.28, WHIP of 1.31. So that's you know, good pitching for Lodzinski, not really good pitching for Harrison. So it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Pirates. Now for injuries, for the Pirates, Don Fletcher and Anthony Solomeno are on 7-day IL. Braxton Ashcraft's on bereavement. Jared Triolo's on 10-day IL, and Jared Jones is on 60-day IL. For the Brewers, JB Bukaskas is on 7-day IL. Jackson Corio and Andrew Vaughn are on 10-day IL, and Jared Koenig and Quinn Priester on 15-day IL. For stats, the Pirates have a higher batting average, more runs, hits, home runs. Brewers have a higher on base percentage. Pirates have a higher slugging percentage. Brewers have higher ERA, more walks plus hits per inning pitched. Pirates have more walks, strikeouts, and Brewers have a higher opponent batting average. So yeah, so these stats, looks like like a lot of, like I think it looks like a lot of it's in favor of the Pirates, like a lot of those stats, like for the most part, and especially like the big ones with the bigger differences. Like so with that and the starting pitching advantage, you know, the home field advantage will help the Brewers, but with the starting pitching advantage and with a lot of those stats, I think the Pirates will beat the Brewers tomorrow. The Athletics versus the Texas Rangers. The A's have a 45.6% chance to win. The Rangers have 54.4% chance to win. This game is at Texas. For starting pitchers, for the A's, JT Ginn has a career ERA of 4.68, WHIP of 1.31. And for the Rangers, Kumar Rocker has a career ERA of 5.03, WHIP of 1.44. So that's not good pitching for either team. Not really significant difference here. Um, so for injuries, for the A's, Britt Rooker's on 10-day IL and Gunnar Hoglund's on 6-day IL. For the Rangers, Jack Leiter is day-to-day. Carter Baumler, Luis Carvalho, and Chris Martin are on 15-day IL, and Cody Freeman's on 10-day IL. For stats, batting average even. A's have more runs, hits, home runs, higher on base percentage, slugging percentage, ERA, walks plus hits per inning pitched, walks, um, like more walks. Let's see, Rangers have more strikeouts. A's have a higher opponent batting average. So a lot of these stats are like relatively like close. Where I mean, the walks is the biggest difference. That one's a 36 difference. Like A's have 36 more walks than the Rangers, and Rangers have 26 more strikeouts. And a lot of them are pretty close. I think home field advantage is going to end up being the big thing here. So I think the Rangers will beat the Athletics tomorrow. San Diego Padres versus Arizona Diamondbacks. The Padres have a 57.1% chance to win. The Diamondbacks have a 42.9% chance to win. Now this is part of the MLB World Tour Mexico City Series. So this is in Mexico City, Mexico. So there's not really a home field advantage here. Now for starting pitchers, for the Padres, Michael Keane has a career ERA of 3.19, WHIP of 1.19. And for the Diamondbacks, Ryan Nelson has a career ERA of 4.3, WHIP of 1.24. So that's good pitching for King, not really good pitching for Nelson. So it's a definite starting pitching advance for the Padres. For injuries, for the Padres, Yuki Matsui, Jeremiah Estrada and Griffin Canning are on 15-day IL. Will Wachters on 10-day IL. And Blake Hunt's on 7-day IL. For the Diamondbacks, Carlos Santana, Gabriel Moreno, and Tyler Locklear are on 10-day IL. And Geraldo Perdomo and Zach Gallen are on day-to-day. For stats, the Diamondbacks have a higher batting average, have more runs, hits, home runs. Padres have a higher on base percentage. Diamondbacks have a higher slugging percentage and have a higher ERA. More walks plus hits per inning pitched. Padres have more walks, strikeouts, and Padres have a higher opponent batting average. So as far as stats, basically Padres have definitely a lot more strikeouts than the Diamondbacks, with them having 42 more. And the other ones are relatively close. I mean, Diamondbacks have 14 more hits than the Padres. So yeah, this could be an interesting game. Home field advantage will help the Diamondbacks, but with the starting pitching advantage, I think the Padres will beat the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Chicago Cubs versus Los Angeles Dodgers. The Cubs have a 34.6% chance to win, and the Dodgers have a 65.4% chance to win. This game is at LA. For starting pitchers for the Cubs, Shota Imanaga has a career ERA of 3.19, WHIP of .98. And for the Dodgers, Justin Robleski has a career ERA of 4.25, WHIP of 1.2. So, that's some good pitching for Imanaga, not really good pitching for Robleski. So it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Cubs. So for injuries for the Cubs, Jackson Wiggins, Jeff Brigham, and Trent Thorne are on 7-day IL, and Phil Maton and Ethan Roberts are on 15-day IL. For the Dodgers, Brock Stewart, Landon Knack, and Ben Casparius are on 15-day IL. Will Smith at day-to-day, and Mookie Betts is on 10-day IL. For stats, the Dodgers have a higher batting average. Cubs have more runs. Dodgers have more hits and home runs. Cubs have a higher on-base percentage. Dodgers have a higher slugging percentage. Cubs have a higher ERA. More walks plus hits per inning pitched. And more walks. Dodgers have more strikeouts. Cubs have a higher opponent batting average. So yeah, these stats are, I would say, pretty close. And home field advantage will help the Dodgers, but I think with the starting pitching advantage, I think the Cubs will beat the Dodgers tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.